Welcome to the Traveling Professors. I'm Professor Bob.
And I'm Professor Sherry.
And together we are
the Traveling Professors.
Today we're going to talk about one of our favorite hotels, the Amalia Hotel in Athens. Now, Sherry and I have been in Athens 4 times in the last 7 years. The first time is when I proposed to her at the foot of the Acropolis. That time we stayed in the Intercontinental Hotel, and it was okay, but you couldn't really walk through anything. You had to use their shuttle. Then a couple of years later, we went to Istanbul, and we used Athens as a base, which we tended to do any time that it was possible that unrest in the country would leave us stuck someplace. That time we stayed at a hotel closer to the Acropolis, but it wasn't very good. But that time we took 2 tours, one of them to Mycenae and one of them to Delphi, and we used what was known as the chat tours. And they were all headquartered from the Amalia Hotel, which turned out to be a couple of blocks down the street. So after that, we went to the Amalia Hotel, and we have gone there ever since. Whenever Sherry and I travel to another city, we're always looking at finding a hotel that is centrally located so that we can walk to a lot of the things that we want to see. And of course, transportation to and from the airport or to and from the train station are extremely important. And of course, Athens has one of the nicest airports to fly into, although it is way out from where the main city is located. But the transportation from there is superb. Now, we have traveled from the airport by metro in the past, and that's very smooth, very simple. You walk straight out of the main terminal, up a flight of stairs, there's the metro. But that takes about an hour and 15 to an hour and 20 minutes. Then you can also take the bus. Now, I've never been a bus fan, but they have an express bus that goes from the airport. You can actually take it to the center of Athens, Syntagma Square, and you can also take one directly to Piraeus. And they run to the square in Piraeus about every 15 to 20 minutes. And then, of course, conversely, if you want to go back to the airport, every 15 to 20 minutes, there's another bus that takes off. And they're relatively inexpensive. Actually, it was a little bit more inexpensive to take the bus than it was to take the metro. And so you take bus X95, and it stops in a variety of places, and then you're suddenly downtown. Now, here is a map of the downtown area, actually the central area of Athens, the Plaka region. And you see that there is the National Garden there, there's the presidential building, there's the main square in front of it, there's the Acropolis, there are all these places. And here's where the Amalia Hotel is located. And you can see it's just a block off of the main square. It's just a block from where the bus lets you off, or where you get on the bus to go back to the airport if you want to do that. There's also a metro stop right here as well, that you can take the metro to all the different places of the city. You see where the Acropolis is located. It's a relatively easy walk to the Acropolis. Now, the hotel itself does not have its own restaurant. They do have breakfast. They don't have a restaurant. But there are restaurants all around here. And this is where our favorite restaurant is located. As you can see, it's just a few blocks away. That's where I proposed, and that's where we go to eat every time we're in Athens. And they still have some of the staff that were there when I proposed. So we have a good time. But if you look at the map, you can see how close everything is. We've walked to the flea market. We've gone all sorts of different places. So it's a really good location. And then, of course, the chat tours are headquartered there, so if you want to take other tours, you can do that as well. Now, here's a picture of the Amalia Hotel taken at night. You see, it's not a gigantic multi-storied building, but you can go up to the roof where the old restaurant used to be and get some spectacular views, which I'll show you later. Now, this first picture is taken when we were there in 2017 on the first of 3 times that we stayed there. We flew in, and then we were going to go to Samos, and we flew from Athens to Samos, and then we were supposed to take ferries everywhere else. But they had ferry strikes and all sorts of other strikes, so we ended up going back and forth multiple times. Now, it's just a regular business class hotel. It's very nice. I mean, you'll see different accommodations as we go through this, but the prices usually run, we've paid as little as 120 euros and as much as 180 euros. And this is a picture out the window, which was a side window. One of the things that we've always enjoyed about the Amalia Hotel is it has one of the best breakfasts that we've ever had. Now, the Dan Hotel in Jerusalem has a better breakfast. And actually, the Sofitel Hotel out by the Athens airport is excellent as well. But we love coming in here and eating. It's nice and relaxing. They have people who can prepare crepes for you. We like to stay in hotels where we can have breakfast included. It just makes it so much easier. We have a big breakfast, then a light lunch, and then we have a nice meal at the end of the day. Now, if you go up to the roof, here's a picture of the Acropolis from the roof of the Amalia Hotel. And then here's another picture. This one is a picture of the Parliament building. Also in front of the Parliament building is the tomb of the unknown soldier. And there is the St. George's Church up on the top of that hill in the distance. And we've been there before, and it's a spectacular view of the city. We then went, in that year, 2017, we went on our trip like we were supposed to. And then there was a strike. It was in 2017 was the last year that they had the EU telling them what they needed to do to get their last supply of money. And the last thing they had to do was to cut the pensions. They put that off to last. And so there were massive strikes everywhere. But the ferries went on strike as well. So we had to fly from Samos back to Athens instead of being able to take a ferry. And we were supposed to be in Athens for one day and then take the ferry to Patmos and then Rhodes. But I was afraid that wasn't going to happen, that the strike would go on. So we opted to cancel that and stay in Athens for an extra 3 days. Unfortunately, the hotel was booked for the other days, but they were very helpful in getting us to one of their sister hotels, the Electra, which was a couple of blocks away, so we stayed there. So here's the room that we stayed when we came back from Crete, and we're back in Athens for a couple of days. They had upgraded us to a rooftop at no extra charge, because I guess I'd written them a really nice report on what they'd done to help us out during the strike. So we had a porch that we could look at. There's the view from our front porch. You can see the botanical gardens in front of us. You can see Parliament building. There's the Panhellenic Stadium where the first modern Olympic Games was held. So we had a really nice view from up here. And as you can see, though, across the street is where they have all of the double-decker buses. And there are actually 4 different lines that go all over the place. And we have taken the double-decker bus a couple of times just to see where everything is. So we had a very nice time staying in Athens at the 2017. Well, this past year, in 2018, we decided to go to Egypt and do it in December, January. And we took the opportunity to come into Greece and stay in Athens briefly, and then go up north to Thessaloniki, and we did a couple of days there. We went to Pella, we went to Philip's tomb in Vergina, and then we went back to Athens for New Year's. And this is our room in the Amalia Hotel at New Year's. They gave us a free bottle of wine as well. Wasn't any more expensive. It was funny because when I asked the gentleman about the fireworks, he says, well, we're a small country. We don't put on big fireworks. Trust me, they put on a very nice job, a nice round of fireworks. So if you're looking for a place to go for New Year's, Athens is a great location. Now, it was a little hazy and drizzly. There was some concern they wouldn't do that. But here is the view from the rooftop just before midnight. Here is the fireworks that took place. And I'm going to let that run for you. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you liked what you've seen, please subscribe on YouTube or put a like on YouTube. And Sherry and I thank you very much.